Daniel Phillips joins us from over in the Weather Lab with a breakdown on today's report from NOAA. Hey, Daniel.
Hey there, Jim. Hey there, Acadiana. It wasn't just NOAA that had an above average season either. In fact, if you compiled all the different models and forecasters and what they have been saying about the hurricane season, all coming to the exact same conclusion that it's going to be not just an above normal, but a very above normal type of season. Now, when you're talking about forecasts such as this, it all comes down to number of named storms. This doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be an increase in landfalling hurricanes. However, the more hurricanes you get out there, the higher those chances go that you are going to see some of them make landfall. So as we get into June, it will be very important to make sure that we're prepared. Now, part of the stuff that goes into creating these forecasts, if you simplify it down to two different areas that you're going to want to watch for, wind shear as well as sea surface temperatures, typically the big one that we always talk about. Still very warm out in the Gulf of Mexico, out in some of the deeper areas, you're sitting at the 80s. It's been a little churned up. Some of the recent rainfall is going to knock those temperatures at the shoreline down just a little bit, but again, we're in May. There's plenty of time to warm up. You're really warm getting out through into the eastern Caribbean as well, with some of those areas a little bit further southwards in the tropics, those water temperatures sitting a little bit closer to 90 and running a little bit above average. In fact, if you take a look at the temperature anomaly, so this is where the temperatures are sitting now in relation to their average. The Gulf of Mexico, for the most part, is all running above average, again, with some recent rainfall and some stormier weather out in the eastern part. That's kind of cooled off a little bit, but this is just for today. This isn't going to last. These numbers are going to change, and those likely going to be warming up. Then you've got right around average up through the tropics, but a big portion of the Atlantic all running well above average already this year. And again, we're in late May now. There's still plenty of time for this to warm up. The other factor is wind, and for that we kind of turn our attention out over towards the Pacific. Cooling out in the Pacific Ocean typically means the arrival of a La Nina, and what that is going to do gets rid of all of that wind shear. So La Nina, the opposite of El Nino, which usually brings in a lot more shear, stronger level winds higher up in the atmosphere. You can't get the storms to really form, and that isn't what we're going to be seeing this year. Lower winds, lower shear, which allows those storms to start bubbling up. So those are the big factors that have gone into today's report and a lot of the forecasts that you're seeing. Back closer to home, we are in full tropical mode though, at least summertime anyway. We're high getting up to around 89 degrees. That low tonight settles down around 72. We're going to talk about that forecast in greater detail coming up here in just a little bit.